I'm going to show you some of the most advanced edits that you can do inside of CapCut. You're going to learn how to place text behind people, create fancy slide-on graphics with text, how to use masking for cool effects, and so much more. As always, the chapters will be linked down below if you want to skip ahead to the next tip.
Like the clone effect, which is super fun to do inside of CapCut.
Colin, we talked about this. You don't come on till the end of the video.
You're so unfair. I hate you.
Let's just go ahead with the video. But before we do, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Epidemic Sound. Here's the deal. If you're not using music and sound effects in your videos, your content is going to be less engaging, which is going to cause people to stop watching. Now granted, CapCut does have music and sound effects built in, but from what I've seen and personally tested, there is copyrighted content mixed into those audio libraries and can get you into trouble on YouTube. This is why I recommend using Epidemic Sound. I've been using them personally for years, and that's why they are a sponsor on this channel. They have over 90,000 sound effects and over 40,000 songs spanning across tons of genres like electronic, film, pop, hip-hop, classical, acoustic, and more. With just one subscription, you can use their music across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, your podcast, and more. If you're interested in checking out Epidemic Sound, you can actually try them out for free for 30 days with my link in the description. Any music you use during that free trial period and upload to YouTube, you have the rights to use, even if you cancel the subscription later, so it's definitely worth checking out. And with that being said, let's hop into the video. So let's take a look at putting text behind a person. Here I am inside of CapCut. We have this clip of a hiker here walking, and we are going to put text behind them. So the first thing we want to do is go to the text section here. We're going to click add text and then type the text that we want to put behind them. We're just going to do journey because that seems appropriate. Then we're going to go to our font and adjust that as well. I'm also going to go ahead and style the text a bit as well. I'm probably going to add some black shadow behind this to make it stand out nice. All right, got my text all set up, so I can just click the check mark here and extend the text for the full duration of the clip. And here's where the magic trick comes in, and part of this is making sure you have the text exactly where you want it, you have any transitions added if you want to add transitions to your text, all that's there. And then what you want to do is export this video. So we're going to save it to our camera roll, and then we're going to add it to a different project. So I'm going to click Create New Project here. We're going to add that in. There we go, text on screen. And then what we're going to do is click Overlay, and add the blank clip over the top. There we go, select that. All right, so we have text underneath. Here's the blank clip. Increase it to cover the full screen. And then we're going to do is click Cutout. And then we're going to click Remove Background. And this should cut out our person. And because the clip behind them has the text effect already added, we are going to get this effect. Boom, there we go. The text is behind our person as they're walking. Even with the camera moving, we now have that cool cinematic look with something behind a person. And this works for text, this works for stickers and other elements that you want to slide up from behind someone. You can do that using this trick. While we're on the topic of text, let's take a look at how you can do video in text. And if you don't know what this is, let me show you an example here. This is what video in text looks like, and here's how to do that effect. Inside of CapCut, you're going to click New Project, and then you're going to click on Stock Videos, and you want to click on this black image or a little video clip here. We're going to add it in, extend it for a few seconds here, like so. Cool, that should be good enough. And then what we want to do is add our text in that we want to have a video behind. So I'm going to click Text. I'm going to click on Add Text, and we're going to type this in. Now, normally for video in text, the shorter the phrase, the better. So for this example, I'm going to choose travel, which I think is on the longer side. You really want this to be only just a couple of letters, so that way the video is very visible. And then what you also want to do is when choosing a font, choose a very bold font. Like this Avenir Next is really bold. And what we'll end up doing, we're going to increase the size of this to take up a lot of the screen, because again, the video is going to be playing inside the text. There we go. That's all set up. And the one final step after you choose the font, a nice bold font, is to go to Style, and we want to change the color of the text in here in order to achieve this effect. Now, what I've seen work the best out of all the colors you could choose is this one, because what we're essentially going to do is green screen chroma key, remove the color so we can see the video underneath. I've tried green. It didn't turn out as well as I liked. I went through a ton of colors. I found this light yellow here to be the best color. So I'm going to click check and make sure it extends for the full length of the black video there. There we go, 9 seconds. And then I'm just going to export it just like that. And we're going to take that video and put it into our other project. All right, so in my project, I have this like drone video of these like mountains here and the beach. So all I'm going to do is click overlay, add overlay. You can see I've tested all these colors here. Going to click on the light yellow color here, click add. Going to increase the size to take up the full screen. And then what I'm going to do is click on it, go to cutout, click on chroma key, and then drag this over the yellow and turn up the intensity. Now you want to be careful here because if you turn it to 1, you can kind of see the yellow particles there. So you got to get it just right. If you go too far, it's going to erase everything. So that's why the color really matters, because you really want to make sure you don't have any little bit left behind or seeing the colors and stuff. And this does a pretty good job, I found, with this color. So now if we click something like play here, we've got the video playing in the background. You can actually see through the text. And one additional step to really make a cool effect with this is to go to that overlay clip. And as you get close, click on the video and then click keyframe, scroll ahead a little bit, place another keyframe, and then just zoom in through one of the letters. So I'm going to zoom in through this A here. Like so. There we go. And now when I click play, not only do we have the travel, but now it's going to do a zoom in through the letters. And now we're into the video. So you can totally picture that as like an opening for like a travel video or something else, or a movie or a short film or something. And you zoom through the letters and you're into the scene. Super cool effect. Next, let's talk about tracking. This is actually a really cool feature that you can do, whether it's tracking your face, having a sticker track you, like a little red arrow pointing at something, or even just using something like keyframes to track you around. Really cool feature that you can utilize that'll give you an awesome effect. Now, interestingly enough, you can't do tracking on an iPad for some reason. It's just not in there. I can't find it. But it is on your smartphone, which I'm sure some of you use. So here's how to do that with your smartphone. You're going to click, obviously, new project, click the video you want to add in to track. I have this clip of me where I walk back and forth and then do some Fortnite dances. So let's get to here. We're just going to split this, and this is where we want it to start tracking. So all you have to do is click on the video, and on the bottom toolbox, you're going to scroll over to the camera tracking button. You're going to click on that and then click camera tracking. And here you can choose your face, your body, or your hand. I'm going to choose my face. I'm going to click start, and it's going to follow me around on screen. You can see the little square box there going around, following me around. Sweet. We can also do fit canvas because we want it zoomed in. Keep face size. I don't know what that does, but we'll select it anyway. And now, when we scroll through, we have tracking on our face. Look at me. I'm being tracked as I do my Fortnite dances there. But that is not all we can do with tracking. Like I said, we could go to stickers on the bottom section there. Let's go find a red arrow. So here we got this red arrow. We're going to shrink it down a bit. All right, so here we got this red arrow on screen. I'm just going to scroll over to tracking. In this circle, we shrink it down with our fingers, like so. Drag that over my head, like that. And before we do that, actually, we want to make sure this is lined up over our head. Or we want it in the exact position that we want it to track. There we go. I accept that. So now we can click on it, click tracking, make that circle go around my head. click start tracking. All right, so there we go. We got the red arrow following me around everywhere I go. Even when I'm dancing, it's still above my head. And the key with this that is really important to know is it needs to keep your face in frame. If you turn your head a little bit, it will lose tracking ability because this is just AI. It's not that smart. CapCut doesn't have billions of dollars to put into facial tracking recognition, but does do a really good job if you can keep the person's face in frame. So just keep that in mind if you are doing effects with it. Keep yourself in the shot. And now let's move on to another editing tip that was requested by a viewer like you who asked for how to get photos to slide on, like multiple photos, like for maybe that's for a real estate video, or maybe you're doing a travel video and you want to show some of the photos as you're talking about them. Here is how you do this effect. All right, so I've got this video of me talking here about whatever, and I've purposely put myself over to the side. So there is something called like the rule of thirds, where if you turn on the grid on your smartphone, you kind of want to be either on this line or that line, and that kind of spaces you out properly. So you can see here, I'm off to this side, giving space for the photos that I want to slide on. So starting first with the end in mind, when you're recording, knowing that, hey, I'm probably going to put some photos on screen, I should probably have myself off to the side so there's room for the photos to come on where it's not going to block my face or something like that. So that's what I did there. And to do this, first we're going to add in the first photo. So I'm going to click overlay, add overlay. I'm going to go to my photos, and we'll go ahead and add our first one here. There we go. We're just going to extend it a little bit in length there. And I'm also going to shrink it down with my fingers. Just pinching with my fingers. Going to drag it over to the side here where I've got that. That looks pretty good. And probably the main thing you want to do here to make it more professional is to have an animation when it slides on. So I'm going to click animation. I'm going to have an in animation here. And again, I'm going to choose something fairly professional and simple. Do something like a slide right here. So it'll slide on, extend it to some length here.
So if you want to see some...
There we go. I feel like that's a good speed. And then what we can do is add our second photo, but I'll time it a little bit after. So I'm probably going to add it here just so there's a bit of distance between them. So 1, 2. So we'll have our second photo here. Extend that for the same length. Same thing, going to do animation and do the exact same in animation of slide right. And I also want to shrink it down with my fingers, make it the right size as the other one. There we go. And now when we click play, this is what we have.
So if you want to see some photos of what I'm talking about, these are just some random stock photos that I have no idea what they are.
There we go. And then I can also do, if you want, add an out animation. So you can go to your out animation. You could do it however you want. If you're, again, going for that kind of professional, I can have it slide back left off the screen. And for that, you're controlling this red side here, not the blue. And I just totally screwed it up. There we go. So we have 1.4 seconds for slide on, 1.4 seconds for slide out. So now this one will slide off. And we could probably do the same for the photo down here as well, so they both